Hello there, welcome back. So much has happened in the past couple of episodes. We chased down some terrorists, fought a giant dragon monster, and now Comrade C is fighting against us. And he's level 60 and we're all level 40. Which bodes well. No, it doesn't. But let's go! And yeah. Oh, damn. Ah!
I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay.
No!
I was careless.
Right.
See, I'm wondering if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh. Oh. Laura, way to go. You still live. Crimson Edge.
Wasn't strong enough.
I was supposed to lose!
That's our C for you.
Ooh, can't deny he's got the brains and the brawn to lead.
What power?
He might even be as strong as Sarah.
Just... who are you people?
From today, you shall know us as the Imperial Liberation Front. In our hearts, the flames of silent anger. In our hands, the hammer of judgment that shall topple the dictator. That is our cause. Our...
Oh no.
The Imperial Liberation Front?
What dictator?
Freeze, all of you!
Claire. Sarah.
Instructor! Captain Clair! Just in time.
It appears the time has come to make our exit.
Huh? Is that...
Farewell. I'm sure we'll meet again.
What?
A bomb?
See you around.
Ta-ta for now, my little darlings.
Let's see you claw your way out of this grave.
The passage is collapsing! Hurry!
Right!
I couldn't leave well enough alone.
Reen, you carry Her Highness.
Got it.
We're safe.
Whew, that was pretty touch and go back there. But I'm glad to see you all pulled through.
Well, thanks to you, Instructor.
I had my doubts we were going to make it out of that alive.
You could have come a bit sooner.
Sorry. Anyway, there's no way we'll be able to follow them now.
Indeed.
So, the Imperial Liberation Front, is it? Your Highness! Elise!
Oh, thank goodness. Whatever drug they were given doesn't seem to have had any lasting effects.
I feel like I've caused you all a lot of trouble, but thank you for rescuing me.
I'm just glad that you're safe and unharmed.
What happened?
Are you alright, Your Highness? How are you feeling?
Reen? I'm fine. You should worry more about your sister.
Looks like the intelligence division was right on the mark. We have a number of the routes back to the surface locked down. Think we could smoke them out?
Personally, I doubt it. This tunnel system is incredibly expansive, with too many areas we know nothing about. Continue the search for a while longer, then focus on restoring order in the city.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll send a report to the other divisions and let them know the situation's been resolved.
So, Imperial Liberation Front, what's your game?
Oh, we had a time skip again.
In the end, the Railway Military Police brought the chaos under control, and the first day of the festival came to a close. Despite his injuries, Governor Regnitz kept on top of things,
ensuring that the rest of the festival passed by peacefully. The next morning, it was time for us to leave the capital behind and make our way back to Trista.
I really don't know how to begin thanking you. You've done so much for our family that I doubt we'll ever be able to repay you.
Not at all, Your Highness.
There's nothing to repay us for. We just did what we had to. Oh, come now. There's no need to be so modest. It scares me to think what might have happened if Elise and I had been taken away by those people. So I can't thank you all enough. Please allow me to extend my thanks for your help as well. I'm truly grateful.
Elise.
Oh, I'm just glad you're safe.
Group B's efforts were a great help to Cedric and I as well. Thank you again for your assistance in restoring order to the city.
I'm honored, Your Highness.
I'm so glad to have been of service.
Just think of it as returning the favor for your help pushing to make Class 7 a reality. Still, now we've got the Imperial Liberation Front to worry about.
Regrettably. There have been signs they were up to no good behind the scenes before now. That incident in Nord, for example, but now they've finally stepped out of the shadows and announced themselves to the world. They appear to be insurgents in the truest sense of the word, led by several key figures. C being the most prominent. The intelligence division is doing its utmost to gather information about these leaders even as we speak.
They struck me as rather mysterious in some ways. Even though they abducted us, they rarely showed the kind of maliciousness one would expect from terrorists. It seemed more like they were in the grip of some kind of intense passion. True. Not that it excuses abducting Your Highness like they did.
An intense passion, you say?
It did seem that way.
In our hearts, the flames of silent anger. In our hands, the hammer of judgment that shall topple the dictator. That's what their leaders said when they made their appearance.
Indeed. All the ham-handed theatrics of a middle school play.
Yeah. You can tell how gleeful he must have been to say the flames of silent anger in front of an audience.
Well, it's no mystery what they're referring to, at least.
Oh, thank goodness. I didn't miss you.
Wait, isn't that...
Is he?
Dad's with him, too.
Oh, I'm glad you made it, Cedric!
Just in time, too.
Your Highness?
Did you come all this way just to bid us farewell?
Of course. After all you've done for us, I thought it was the least I could do. Is this the rest of Class 7? It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Cedric Rice Arner. I wanted to thank you for coming to my sister's aid in her time of need. Allow me to extend to you my most heartfelt appreciation.
You're too generous, Your Highness.
The honor was ours.
Thank you, Your Highness.
This is the Crown Prince. He's pretty cute.
Fee?
I certainly wouldn't mind if he took a few lessons in manliness from the gentlemen of Class 7, though.
Alfred, come on.
I think that's a little harsh, Your Highness.
Well, you're still just 15. You have plenty of growing ahead of you. Still, it isn't often I see you keeping the Imperial Governor company.
I suppose that's true. I just happened to be here on business, so I thought I'd take the chance to say goodbye to everyone.
How are you feeling? Are your injuries all right now?
Yes, nothing too serious, fortunately. I'm still feeling it, but it shouldn't be too much longer before I'm back to my old self.
That's good to hear.
I'm glad to see you looking all hale and hearty, Your Excellency.
Thank you. While no one could have foreseen how it ended, you did manage to complete this month's field study. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I'd like to congratulate you for your exemplary work.
We're honored you'd say so.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
We three directors may have very different positions on many issues, including how Class 7 should be run. But for my part, I'd like you to enjoy student life however you choose. I think the other directors would agree with me on at least that much.
Dad.
I'm glad to hear you feel that way, Your Excellency.
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about, Your Highness.
Well, if you say so. I've always found you a trustworthy man, of course. But...
Ah, I see that everyone's here.
Oh, it couldn't be.
Chancellor Osborne!
As a matter of fact, the Chancellor and I just came from an audience with His Majesty the Emperor.
I'm overjoyed to see you safe and well, Princess Alpha. Clearly, the goddess has bestowed her blessings upon us.
Thank you, Chancellor.
I'd also like to reassure Prince Oliver that we're starting a nationwide hunt for members of the Imperial Liberation Front. An investigation into the backgrounds of its members is also underway, so you needn't worry.
My. Nothing gets past you, does it? Well, I suppose that means you have the security detail for next month's trade conference well in hand?
Of course. I'll see to it that everything is taken care of. Ah, but where are my manners? Please excuse me for not introducing myself. I'm Gileath Osborne, representative of the Erebonian government. Though I imagine those of you who read the papers may know me better as the Blood and Iron Chancellor.
It's an honor to meet you, Your Excellency.
Your reputation precedes you, Your Excellency.
I've heard much about the recent exploits of Thor's Class 7. Traveling across the Empire for first-hand learning with your field studies, it's quite the fascinating program. I hope you'll keep up the good work.
We shall endeavor to.
Thanks.
I hope we'll live up to your expectations.
Ah, yes. It's been quite some time, young racer. I'm glad to see your new career path is working out for you.
Thank you, Chancellor. I wouldn't be where I am today if not for you. I really owe you for all you've done for me.
General Van Dyke was my superior back when I was in the Army. As such, I'm planning on granting you a bit of additional assistance. I should have it ready for you in a few weeks' time.
What are you...
I have great expectations for you all. Nurture the bonds you share, and train up bodies and wills of steel. For I have no doubt you'll need them in the turbulent times to come.
Oh. Rain?
Well, that's the end of chapter 4.
Ooh, you're moving up in the world.
Sweet.
I've got a little reward here for you. Keep up the good work.
Wow, I really did it.
Good showing, everyone.
I really did complete everything. Neat. Oh, sweet. I'm going to save. Right here. Oops. Let us continue. Whoa. Wednesday!
Mid-August. It was the peak of summer, and the sweltering sun was beating down on the residents of Trista. After returning from Heimdall, we were given a whopping 5-day summer vacation before the school year resumed. Turns out, Thor sticks to its military roots, only granting extended vacations to students over the New Year's holiday. However, nobles are allowed to visit home, ostensibly to give them time to become familiar with their family's holdings. And, as you might expect, that meant most students from classes 1 and 2 spent summer away from Trista.
What's the cat doing over there?
Meanwhile, classes 3 through 5 were stuck on campus, envying the nobility as they studied and trained as usual. The other members of Class 7 and I chose to stay in Trista as well, facing the heat with our fellow students.
It's so hot. I'm dying in here. I'm sick of this heat already. Talking about it is just making me feel even hotter. The Academy should install an orbital air conditioner. At least then it would be a little easier to cope. An orbital air conditioner? What is that? Well, it's this device that blows out cool air to help regulate a room's temperature. Maybe it'd help if you think of it as the opposite of a stove. Wow, that's some kind of wizardry. I've heard of them, but aren't they supposed to be prohibitively expensive? Only the most modern buildings seem able to afford them. Do you have one in your house? Well, there's one in the Riffer & Company's corporate headquarters, yeah. It'd be nice if my mother could spare one, you know. For the Academy, she sits on the board of directors for. Seems a bit much to hope for. This is a military academy, so I doubt we could expect to be indulged quite that much. Still a machine to help us keep cool in the summer. Whoever first invented that should get a medal. I'll admit, the summer heat here is more difficult to cope with than in Legram. But as long as I think of it as another part of my training, it doesn't bother me all that much. Breahard gets similar summer heat waves, but there's usually a breeze blowing in from the canyon at this time of year. That does make summers a bit easier to manage. My hometown's up in the mountains, so it's pretty cool even around this time of year. Actually, now that you mention it, I would have thought you three would go back home for the summer, being nobles and all. You were given permission, weren't you? If everyone else was going home, I would have considered it. But in the end, I decided against it. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago. I got to see Elise. Maybe next year. I came here to train. Until I feel like I've made significant progress, I have no intention of returning home. Ha! Some of you saw my father's mansion. Do you think I'd go back to a place like that willingly? I'd much rather stay here and take my chances with a heat stroke. You're really that uncomfortable at home, huh? Still, hot as it is, there's a lot going on right now. I doubt all the people headed to the conference at the end of the month have much time to be worrying about the heat. You make a good point. You're talking about the West Zemuria Trade Conference, right? That's the one. There's never been an international conference on that scale before, at least not in modern times. Mayor Dieter Kreuz? Have I ever heard that name before? Who also happens to be the International Bank of Crossbell's CEO, was the one who first proposed it. I've heard that Prince Olivert will be attending on behalf of His Majesty the Emperor. The Chancellor Osborne is supposed to be attending too. Thinking? Seems crazy to think we met them both just a few weeks ago. The Chancellor in particular was a pretty intimidating figure. Seemed like a big scary monster. I've heard he served in the Imperial Army before becoming a politician. Then, 11 years ago, His Majesty entrusted him with the position of Chancellor. Supposedly, a full 70% of the Imperial Army is under his jurisdiction. His real fame comes from establishing most of the nation's railway network centered on the capital. Though he's also been responsible for annexing several smaller countries and independent states around Arabonia. I believe those all took place without any bloodshed, though, at least as far as I'm aware. Humph, I wouldn't put too much stock in what he's selling. Military spending in this country has increased exponentially since he took up his position as Chancellor. And that's only possible thanks to the tax revenue he gleans from the people of Heimdall and those annexed nations. Well, he was the one who ordered the construction of those 2 railway guns they've got pointed at Crossbell too. At one point, Arabonia was on the verge of a full-scale war with Calvard because of those things. Oh yeah, I heard that it was actually Liberal that proposed a way to avoid an armed conflict. They ended up signing the Non-Aggression Act, or Pact, right? Yeah, though, as I'm sure you've noticed, there's still quite a bit of tension between the 2 countries. I wouldn't be surprised if the issue reared its head again during the trade conference. Chancellor Osborne's been a really popular figure in the capital, though. Popular enough that he seems to have a group of terrorists after him. He does seem to be the Imperial Liberation Front's main target, doesn't he? You know, the hammer of judgment that shall topple the dictator and all that. Indeed, they seem to harbor a deep-seated grudge against him. Their anger seemed a bit unusual in its intensity, didn't it? He does seem like the type who would make a lot of enemies, especially with a face like that. Well, I'd rather not speak ill of my father's close ally, but... more thinking. Come to think of it, isn't the instructor awfully late? It's well past time for homeroom to start. True. It should have started about 10 minutes ago, actually. I swear that woman. She'd better not be sleeping off another hangover back at the dormitory. Wouldn't put it past her. I wish I could say there's no way our upstanding instructor would do that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Excuse me? I'll have you know I did no such thing.
Hi.
Instructor?
Good morning, instructor.
Morning, everyone! Anyway, I'll have you know I've got a good reason for being late today. And that reason is, we're going to be welcoming a new classmate today.
Huh?
What?
Well, we do have an empty desk.
A transfer student at this time of year?
Seriously?
All right, come on in.
Righto.
Oh.
Huh?
Crow?
But isn't he a second-year student?
I'm Crow Armbrust. Starting today, I'll be joining you fine folks as a member of Class 7. It's gonna be pretty sweet, guys.
What?
What? I mean, how?
Are you sure you want to know? It's a long tale fraught with the intrigue of school politics.
I don't think I'd put it quite like that. Back in his first year, he slacked off so much that he ended up failing a few of his classes. Then he came crying to me in a panic like, "Oh, help me, Instructor Sarah, they're not gonna let me graduate." So as a special exception, he's going to be joining us for the next 3 months to pay for his laziness.
That's hilarious.
You can't be serious.
That's an even more pathetic reason than I was bracing myself for.
I think you already know that Crow was one of the trial users for the Arcus test they ran last year, so I thought he might be a good role model for you. In that sense, anyway. And don't forget, he'll also be joining us on our future field studies, too.
Nice. Looks like you saved me the trouble of having to explain it all. Anyway, let's let the good times roll. Oh, and since we're all classmates now, no need for all that sweet talking you lay on the other second years, all right?
Right.
Easier said than done, I fear.
If he was any more laid back, he'd be comatose.
Nicely put, Fee.
Instructor, I can't help but notice you left the door open.
Wait, is there someone else too?
Huh? Are you serious?
Oh, I was hoping to catch you off guard. All right, come on in and say hello.
I thought you forgot I was out in the hall!
Milliam?
What?
What?
You must be joking.
Hey, aren't you?
You're the girl we met in the Nord Highlands.
Yuppers! Long time no see, guys! But I see a couple of you I don't know, so I guess I better introduce myself. I'm Milliam Orion. And this here is Eric Getlum, but we'll just call him Lammy for short.
What the hell is that? Holy crap!
It's that thing we saw at Ark's fort.
So this is that strange girl you met in the Nord Highlands.
Oh, and a little house rule before anything gets blown up. No bringing that thing out in the classroom. If he accidentally smashes a wall or blasts through the ceiling, I'm the one who's gonna get chewed out for it.
Boo! Fine. Anyway. Nice to meet you guys.
Delightful.
Tell me you're kidding.
I really wish I could.
Well, I can see we're in for some fun times these next 3 months.
Why? With Crow, we had an even party. Or an even class, I should say, and now with Milliam, it's back to being an uneven class. Oh, 3 days went by. At first, no one was sure what to make of Crow Armbrust and Intelligence Division agent Milliam Orion's sudden transfer into Class 7, but within a matter of days, it almost felt like they'd been there all along. I'm sure none of you need to be reminded that it was none other than Emperor Drykles who ended the War of the Lions. We're back again. But did you know that historical records tell us he had amazingly few soldiers under his command? Initially, his allies numbered only a few confidants, there we go, that's the word, and several warriors from Nord. And while supporters rallied to him in each region, his ranks still couldn't hope to compare to the other princes' armies. Nonetheless, they continued to advance, liberating region after region, and after half a year of bloody battles, Prince Drykles met perhaps his most well-known supporter. Milliam, right? Would you happen to know the historical figure to whom I'm referring? Sure do. Leanne Sandlot, also known as the Lance Maiden. Ooh, right you are. Well done. Sandlot was the daughter of a count who ruled over a remote region, and accounts tell us she showed great martial skill from a young age. In particular, her skill with the lance was unparalleled. No records exist of her ever being bested in combat. The Lance Maiden also had a group of mighty warriors under her command who fought alongside her in battle. Perhaps you would like an dying. Perhaps you would like to illuminate us as to the name of the famous band. Reen, why? Huh? A group of mighty warriors led by the Lance Maiden. That'd be. Huh? Stahlritter, Gralls, Ritter. the Eisenritter, also known as the Iron Knights. They were a band of knights said to be able to charge across the battlefield like lightning, cutting down all in their path. Correct? I got it correct! Ah! I didn't do my homework. The Wandering Prince met the Lance Maiden one day during a prolonged conflict in a remote region of the country. This video is now 30 minutes long. After recognizing each other as reliable and trustworthy, they pledged to fight together under a united banner. With the Lance Maiden and her knights bolstering his ranks, Dragel's army swept through one region after another. Crow's asleep. I didn't notice that until just now, but he is out cold. In just a year, he was able to defeat the other princes and free the imperial capital Heimdall. As an interesting footnote, the castle the Eisenritter used as their base of operations 250 years ago just so happens to be only a hop, skip, and jump away from Laura's home in Legram. Send me to Legram. Indeed, it's known as Lohengrin Castle? It's a beautiful old building situated on the shore of Lake Ebel, to the west of Legram. Oh, you've mentioned that before. Does anyone live there now? No. Due to the dangerous terrain there, no one goes near it these days. It exists simply as a relic of a bygone era. The Xseed family is responsible for the care and maintenance of the castle, though really only minimal work is done. Speaking of the Xseed house, wasn't one of your ancestors the Eisenritter's second in command? Indeed, the Lance Maiden's most trusted assistant and confidant, from what I understand. The Sandlot family line ended with the death of the Lance Maiden, and it's partly because of that the Xseed family mourns her death each year. I see. Ooh, what a fascinating story. Legram, huh? Never had a mission there, so I've never been able to go. Maybe I should have dropped or stopped by or when I went to Brehard a while back. You'd think she'd at least try to conceal the fact that she gets sent all over the country on secret missions. I know. She totally just let it slip that she was doing something in Brehard too. Well, I suppose it's better than her being all distant and cagey around us. AP increased by 1. My head hurts. Okay, so tomorrow's a free day, which means that next Wednesday you'll have your usual practical exam. You'd better all bring your A game. Oh, Milliam and Crow? A few must-have instructional materials you guys are going to need as part of Class 7 finally showed up. I'll hand that stuff off to you once we're done here, so I want you to come with me to the faculty lounge. Righto! Man, what a drag. Alright, homeroom's out for the day. Flee while you can. Machias, if you'll do the honors. Yes, instructor. I'll rise and bow. Why? So, what do you think? Well, I don't think we have to be on our guard around her, at least. Same. Though I'd rather she kept that giant silver thing of hers hidden. I don't think she's a bad girl. I was taking a nap in the courtyard yesterday, and she came and fell asleep next to me. What does that have to do with whether or not she's trustworthy? They look like a couple of kittens all curled up together. Their personalities may be worlds apart, but they're both rather cat-like in their own ways. She can't be more than 12 or 13, still practically a child. Yeah, you're right. She's so chipper all the time that it's hard to really be cold towards her. Yeah, I don't think I could bring myself to spurn her. She's got this natural charm, I think. Be that as it may, her presence here reeks of blood and iron, if you take my meaning. Well, it certainly seems that way.
As such, I'm planning on granting you a bit of additional assistance. I should have it ready for you in a few weeks' time.
It's hard to believe a girl like that could be an agent of the intelligence division. But just going off what happened in Nord, there's not much that would make me doubt it now. Okay. And then there's that thing, Urgetlum. That's always with her. She calls it Lammy, but aside from its name, we don't really know anything about it. It seems to be made from some strange material with both metallic and ceramic properties. Hard, but pliable. Agreed. Doesn't look like anything you could make, even with the most cutting-edge orbital technology. When I touched it, it felt really nice and cold. Wow, so you actually touched it? It hasn't escaped my notice that it seems strikingly similar to the combat shells we fight in our practical exams. I think it's safe to assume that they share some kind of common origin. Yeah, the instructor said she was forced to accept it, though in a sense, Milliam was forced on us too. Humph. You're welcome to think what you will, but I don't trust her. Thinking some more. Either way, she's technically our classmate now, like it or not. It may be a little early to tell whether we can trust her or as a friend, but we should be able to figure out pretty quickly whether we can count on her as a member of Class 7. Ah, well, that's a logical way of breaking it down at least. You're right. It's still pretty early to make sweeping judgments. Knowing her background would be great, but what's really important is whether we can count on her in the fight. Agreed. As students of a military academy, that's probably the most important issue. We'll have to wait and see. Well, considering we're living in the same dormitory, it'd be good if we all got along. Yeah, I wouldn't want her to think we're trying to make her feel unwelcome either. And then there's Crow. What's he like, Green? You seem like you get along with him pretty well. I don't know if I'd put it quite like that. If I had to say, I'd describe him as a capricious gambling addict way too prone to ante up for every hand. Adios, help us. Marcus. He sounds like the kind of miscreant one would be better off avoiding. You can count on him when the chips are down, though. He really helped me out last month when Elise went into the old schoolhouse. He's good in a fight and pretty handy with his Arcus too. Maybe we're worrying over nothing then. Still, I'm not really sure sure how to connect with him, you know? Well, at least we're in separate dorms for the time being. We'll just have to see how things go. Oh, good. I can call it a day now. Oh, thank you for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more, please press the little subscribe button. Helps out a lot. And if you like this video specifically, please like and share this video. Next time, we're going to see what happens next. Explore. Go to our free day. Do things. Do quests. Live life. This is a very weird outro. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.